welcome Sky Sports viewers throughout the UK and Ireland, to all of those proudly watching the Dragons in France and Spain, and to all of those of you taking our broadcast in Southeast Asia, the Middle East and North Africa, as well as Canada, the USA, the Caribbean, and of course all you rugby league fans in Australia and New Zealand. Let's get straight to our commentary team for the 2023 Betfred Super League Grand Final. Barry McDermott, Terry O'Connor and Bill Arthur.
Thank you, Brian. Before we go any further, like all major rugby league fixtures in recent years, this weekend's grand finals here and in France tomorrow was set to be preceded by a period of 13 seconds, allowing all involved to celebrate the inclusive nature of our sport. And we've been shocked and appalled by the events in Israel and Palestine and the recent horrific acts of violence that have been carried out against innocent civilians. As a mark of respect for all who have lost their lives, as well as their families, friends and those in communities impacted, we will now observe a moment of silence, beginning and ending on the referee's whistle.
Let's go, boys.
So it has all come down to this. After 8 months of toil, of sweat, pain and sacrifice, the time is here to decide who will be crowned champions of 2023. These are the two teams that will contest this grand final. Wigan, one change from the side that swept Hull KR aside in last week's semi-final. It's on the bench where Ethan Havard returns after 11 games out. Harvey Hill makes way. The young Cumbrian's day will surely come further in his career. Catalan Dragons, meanwhile, are unchanged from the team that ended St Helens' reign last weekend, and their inside includes 8 members of the side beaten by the Saints in the 2021 Grand Final. Archie Morg on the bench, didn't get on the field against Saints last weekend. He'll be hoping to get his chance to make an impact today. It is, as ever, a stupendous Grand Final atmosphere. The Catalan Dragons supporters, and what credit to them, a week's notice and they have got themselves here in great numbers. Charter flights organised, but a bit like Saints supporters last week in Perpignan. They've made a massive effort and hoping the Catalan supporters to see their man Sam Tompkins bow out at the end of this glittering career in his 5th grand final with victory. And posing a massive threat to Catalan is Wigan's newly crowned man of steel, Bevan French. Tompkins and French, Wigan men of steel once upon a time. Liam Moore is the referee here at Old Trafford. The rain has relented. We've had torrential showers during the afternoon, but it's dried up. There's a chill in the air. It's grand final time. The smoke clearing from the fireworks. These sides first and second in the table. So hard to call this one.
Yeah, exactly it is. Both teams won 20 of the 27 rounds. Both teams scored the same amount of points, 722, so there is absolutely nothing in it. And I don't know many pundits who've called it split either way. This Catalan side, they know they've got to be bruising, they've got to be so good Wigan got off to a tremendous start last week, scored 18 points in the opening 11 minutes. Catalan can't let them get a big start like that in this game.
Bill, I've played in a few and I've been to a lot of grand final. There is nothing better than a grand final at Old Trafford under these conditions, all to play for and both teams capable of taking it.
Wigan, their last meeting between these two sides ended with Wigan emphatic victors, 34 points to 0 in Perpignan. But prior to that, Catalan have beaten Wigan twice at Magic and at the DW Stadium on a chilly winter's night. As Field gets his first touch of the ball, there are threats all over the pitch in this Wigan side. And Field is a major one of them, 18 tries to his name this season. And here is another one of them. Liam Marshall, he doesn't just score tries, he does a lot of work out of backfield.
You're right, 21 carries he did last week against Hull KR. Made some decent meters along with this man. Both of them scored decent tries as well. But they're the ones who start the ball rolling for the forwards.
Toby King, an unusual situation for him. He'll be leaving Wigan at this end of this season, having been on loan for this campaign. What a season he has had. He's returning to his club Warrington as Tom Davis pouches the first high kick of the game.
Well, both sides going through their respective sets of six, and when Sam Tompkins puts the kick in, Field under no pressure. When Harry Smith puts the kick in, well, Catalan Dragons under pressure because of the intensity in the kick chase from Wigan.
Tom Johnston, Wigan will be keeping an eye on the Catalan Dragons winger. 29 tries to his name in all competitions this season. Here's Takiaho, one a number of players from the Catalan ranks who will be leaving at the club at the end of this season. There's going to be a major rebuilding job for Steve McNamara. So there's a lot of incentive for the players who are bowing out. Tompkins, not the only one as he puts the kick in. Taken after the kick had gone, the Catalan supporters voicing their displeasure. Liam Farrell leaving the scene very quietly.
Again, there's kick pressure on Sam Tompkins, and then the ability for Field to catch it with no pressure around it. Teams, coaches, players often talk about the detail. Wigan's detail in defence in that set of six was top-notch.
This is a really, really close game to call, as Terry has pointed out. At the moment, it's Catalan Dragons who are narrowly favoured. And that's the fans' verdict. There's probably a lot of wishful thinking there, other than in Cherry and Whiteland.
You're right, I think a lot of those neutrals will be supporting this Catalan side and Steve McNamara.
It's the question, isn't the question's not quite right. I think the question should be, who do you want to win?
Well, they are for a lot of people. The Catalan Dragons are a lot of people's second team, Steve McNamara's men. A lot of their supporters, not just French-based, they have a lot of supporters in this country who've come from far and wide to cheer the Sangayor on. Here is Tyrone May, he'll be with Hull Kingston Rovers next season. Kai Pearce-Paul in the tackle there. He is leaving Wigan off to the NRL. What a big chance that is. From the Croydon Hurricanes in the London Amateur Leagues to the NRL with the Newcastle Knights. Meanwhile, it's the Catalan Dragons with Tompkins, who puts the first testing kick in towards Miski. It's Johnston who claims it, but Johnston is wrapped up.
Well,
is that a good omen for the Catalan Dragons?
Well, you just look where the game's been played. They've dominated this field position. A good kicking game from Sam Tompkins. Look, he lands it on the head of Miski, doesn't he? And Tom Johnson, they get hold of it. Sam Tompkins comes in thinking that Bevan French has got it.
Takiaho on Miski.
Do you know, you can see you've got a half-back in Mitchell Pearce who's calm, composed, calculated. His kicking game's outstanding along with Sam Tompkins. And you've got the like a Takiaho and Mickey McLaurin, who this is where they want to defend. Get off the line. Right then, Miski, if you think you're any good at bringing the ball back, get through this.
Miski's just had a bit of attention away from the scene of the action. The physio's giving the thumbs up. Yeah, Takiaho laying down a marker there. Oh, And Paul Seguier.
Look at that. Well, Paul Seguier, one of the biggest hitters in the competition. Just 26 metres they made. Like I said, they're right on top early on, Catalan.
Smith's kick into the hands of Davis, and Davis grits his teeth to run the ball back once to the Wigan Warriors.
Well,
Earlier in his career, Tom Davis.
if the Catalan Dragons can defend with intelligent aggression and pile the pressure on Wigan Warriors near their own line, it just makes that job a little bit more difficult.
Tyler Dupree in the tackle there. What a big night it is for 23-year-old Tyler Dupree. McAlorum. Here is Mitchell Pearce. Pearce. Good job, Seguier was switched on there. I don't think he was anticipating that.
He was hoping that he was going to drop underneath Seguier.
Takiyaho on it comes to Tyrone May. May to Whitley. Whitley cut down. Good defence from Wigan there. That's the 5th tackle. Just inside Wigan's 40. And Tompkins lofts the kick high, but it's claimed by King. Let's go down to the sideline. Here from Jenna.
Yeah, evening, Bill. I can tell you if Catalan score down this end, it may be because of something that Bernard Gouache did earlier tonight. He actually sent for holy water from Lord, and I can tell you that the club have blessed the pitch. So if they score down this end, well, who knows, maybe that is why.
Thanks, Jenna. There's Jake Wardle. He has had a great season, culminating with a dream team selection in the centres. Well, he hopes culminating in a grand final victory. That's a great kick. Tompkins has to lope across to gather it, and then he looks round and he's closed down.
A superb kick from Wigan. So many times they choose to kick on the 3rd or 4th tackle, not waiting until the 5th, hoping to catch their opposition, just not quite concentrating, and then the kick chase is impeccable.
Tom Johnston looking for 1 try tonight to equal Morgan Escaray's record of tries in a season. Tom Davis. The two sides testing each other out early on in this 2023 Betfred Super League Grand Final. Set restart signals.
Yeah, that's a big call as well on the 4th play. That certainly helped them get out of trouble from that Bevan French kick.
Here is Ben Garcia, the inspirational Catalan Dragons captain. Hasn't missed a game in 2023. He was captain of the side that lost in the 2021 Grand Final. Mike McMeekin.
That's a great carry, that. Know your role, know what's expected.
Oh, McMeekin and McAlorum getting in a tangle there.
He chews up the easy meters, doesn't he? Mike McMeekin. He made the mistake. Just 30 metres away, you can see, gets up, plays the ball, it just comes off his heel, doesn't it?
Look at, I think KPP here is probably a little bit too close, gives a shove to Mike McMeekin. It's probably 6 of one and half a dozen of the other. Mike McMeekin will want to be cleaner with his play the ball. Kai Pierce-Paul, I feel, has got away with one.
Mike McMeekin chuntering. Sam Tompkins evicts him from the scrum. McMeekin not happy with what went on there. Wigan have the ball back. Here is Tyler Dupree. You have to feel for Mike Cooper and Liam Byrne missing out for Wigan tonight.
And Harvey Hill as well, and lucky not to be playing in this match.
Ethan Havard coming back, it was always likely to happen that somebody was going to have to miss out.
Ethan Havard is a tremendous player, and as you quite rightly said, Bill, his day will come, Harvey Hill. But it is about the players that are playing now. Matty Pete is confident in the squad, in the 17 that he's got available to him.
He's French, he's King. Matt Peets watching on.
That's fine.
And Wigan, he won't have been impressed with that.
Well, the play the ball seemed to be a bit slowed in at Brad O'Neill for a test. You can see the markers when they set up, as long as they're square, once that ball's played, they can then go around the man who's playing it. You can see it all looks just a bit too slow on that play. Morgan Smithers was expecting the ball, but good play from Matt Whitley.
That's a great one, that. I'm not that.
Whitley bowing out with the Catalan Dragons, destined for St Helens next season, who beat the Catalan Dragons in that 2021 Grand Final, 12 points to 10. That's how close Catalan came on their last visit to Old Trafford.
Okay, fair enough. Heads in, boys. Make your head in, please. Shot clock off.
10 minutes just over gone here, and it's very much an arm wrestle in the largely the middle of the field between these two early on.
Hold! Go one.
Here's Paul Seguier, the Grand Final rookie, unlike so many of those around him.
Go push forward. Play
Michael McAlorum among them in his 5th Grand Final. Garcia. Brad O'Neill in the tackle there. Cade Ellis, Liam Farrell doing their work for Wigan Warriors. Takiaho when it comes to Tyrone May. May to Whitley. Whitley on his shoulder. Wigan's defence.
Good acceleration and pace from May though then.
Pearce. Takiaho once more bustling through the middle. They've had to wait a while to get him fit. He's had his injury problems this season. But Catalan in a good position here. Oh, it comes off the head of Tompkins and goes backwards to Pearce. It's on the last. Pearce crossfield kick. Davis and Marshall scrabbling for that ball. Neither could get there. But that was a bit of a mess from the Catalan Dragons.
Well, Sam Tompkins is almost like a ghost behind the play of the ball, deciding whether to run right or left. And from the reaction, from the bouncing ball, he finds his half-back partner, Mitchell Pearce, who puts an accurate kick in, but because it's a little bit ad hoc, players just aren't quite there. A fraction of a second behind, that's the reason it goes over the sideline.
A couple of fumbles from Wigan. There was the McMeekin, McAlorum knock on, and then that as Pearce and Marshall wrestle.
There's a problem with Seguier as well, and there's some blood from him.
Seguier, referee Liam Moore has stopped the clock, and Seguier in a real mess.
Do you know, he's a physical player. Said it before that he's probably one of the best defensive players in the competition. Yeah, he misses plenty. In fact, he missed 7 tackles last week when they played against Saints. But it's because he flies out the line. He tries to whack everybody into next week. Obviously comes off second best here, and as soon as he come away from this tackle, there was a problem.
He's going to tackle 3.
First up contact from both sides has been strong. Didn't look anything in that.
I don't know whether Mitchell Pearce catches him, an elbow or some kind of friendly fire. Yeah, he was wincing before he went to the floor, Bill. I thought that. But I'm sure they're going to take him over to the sideline.
Going off, yeah. HIA, I think it is saying, yeah.
Oh, there it is.
It's just right,
Marshall boot.
You're right, Bill. You're right, Bill. They're going to assess him. Head injury assessment.
Keep responding. Keep responding. Out on the calls.
12 minutes on the clock. It won't be a bad thing for Catalan Dragons to be able to rotate a big man, put another big man on in Manu Mao.
It's not a bad replacement,
it's like for like too, isn't it? Eamon O'Carroll.
Tackle 3. Okay.
Sat next to Steve McNamara. Alex Chan. They're all looking very confident with the start so far from their side.
So Seguier off. Manu Mao, 35 years of age, and yet this is his first taste of a Grand Final.
Move now! Hold!
So he is on in place.
Go 1.
It's a good record against Wigan this season. Got 2 tries against them in that 18-10 win in March at the DW Stadium. His first ever try double. Here is Kieran, who will be swapping Catalan colours for those of the Wigan Warriors next season. Taking his golden boots with him. May with the break. May has made the break. He's looking for some support. He kicks ahead. The kick is too strong. Oh, and Johnston chased it for all he's worth. Surely didn't get there.
Bill, I don't know whether it bounced back into Jay Field.
Checking the restart.
So Field may well have taken it out.
Just check the restart.
Very short in-goal areas.
It's that white line, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll have a look.
down to the line when he touches it.
Cheers, boys, yeah.
So it turned into be a good kick. Turned out to be a good kick.
And that is obviously, we're at a football stadium, just as that back line dips down there, that's a problem for players.
20 restart. You just told me. 20 restart.
Oh.
Cheers, Chris.
Yeah.
This way, boys.
Well, he's viewed that the ball was over that back line.
Catalan supporters.
Zero coming.
We're going to get a 7-tackle set now because it went too far over that back line.
Move down.
Really?
Well, Chris Kendall is the video referee.
Wigan off the hook.
Move. Hold. Go one.
But Tyrone May will take encouragement from that break. Only he'd had one of the flyers in support.
Well, he called for it, didn't he?
Back with me, boys.
Over here, Tom Johnston. He thought he had the pace. The kick was better from Tyrone May. But that's the threat from Catalan over on the left-hand side.
Kai Pearce-Paul
Play on.
scrambles to his feet. And it's Wigan's turn to give the ball a bit of width. And here is Ward, a little shimmy, little step from the former Giants.
Hold. Go four.
Plays the ball just outside that Catalan 40. 4 tackles gone. Liam Farrell,
Move back.
4 times a grand final winner in his Wigan days. And then Smith, he hoists the kick. Tompkins is underneath it, climbs to catch it. Marshall was a bit early with the tackle. I think Tompkins hadn't reached the ground.
Yeah, the tackle's in the air, doesn't he? I mean, Marshall, well, he sets off, doesn't he? Tries to time that tackle to perfection. Doesn't want to give Sam Tompkins any real space. As soon as he goes up for this, he tries to keep his knees as high as he can. Just look at him. When he goes in the air, he's left the ground, but then he lifts his knees again to get that penalty, knowing what was coming from Marshall.
But it's also by lifting his knees up, he's off the ground and in the air for longer, therefore drawing a penalty out. Wigan's approach is the long game, isn't it? They're prepared to kick, chase and put pressure on their opponents, and when Tyrone May made that break, he went for a short-term play.
Tyler Dupree with a big hit on Manu Mao.
There's a few early on in this game, isn't there? You know it's going to be physical, like you said at the start of the game. Like, pick them aside. Like, both of them, points scored, locked on. Defensively, Wigan are the best so far this year.
4.
Takiaho, middle of the field.
Go 4.
35 metres or so away from that Wigan try line. Here's Tyrone May once more. May holds on to the ball, finds Pearce. Pearce then to McIlorum. Nice hands, McIlorum back to Pearce. Back to Manu Mao now. The rain still falling, just easing off slightly now. Tompkins on the last with the kick, looking for Johnston, but Abbas Miski read that well.
Really intelligent play from Abbas Miski. 1 foot in, 1 foot out, catches the ball. That's the reason he can go to the 20-metre line.
0. Move down.
2 kicks that haven't quite found the mark for the Catalan Dragons their last couple of sets.
It's clear where they're going though, isn't it? They're going to that side. Abbas Miski, you'd back Tom Johnson in an aerial battle, wouldn't you? Even though both centres, Wardle and King, are 6'3", 6'4", they're quite small on the flanks in Marshall and Miski. M&M, as Ryan Hall called them.
Go 3.
Others are available. Here is Bevan French. French to King, and King with Kieran making the tackle.
Go 4 rolling.
Bevan French celebrating his Man of Steel selection this week. Here is Field. Fields tackled by Ikavalu. He's got a bang on the head, Matt Ikavalu, in that tackle. Smith kicks cross field. Johnston is underneath it. Kai Pearce-Paul was challenging, seemed to be nudged. Johnston gets away, and it's a good job for him that Wigan managed to get a hand on him. It was King, I think, who managed to get a hand on him. 6 to go, says the referee.
Well, they seemed a bit scrappy, didn't it? You're right, I think Tom Johnston was helped out by some of his teammates then when that ball went out. Known as an escort, just wouldn't let the defenders get to them when they were catching the ball. And the Warriors now just trying to turn the screw. Look, Kai Pearce-Paul nudged off the ball. Could have been a penalty, that, to the Warriors.
Just for a moment, there was the threat of Tom Johnston disappearing into the distance.
Wouldn't that be a treat? Any new viewers who haven't watched much Super League, once that player gets in the open, it's a try.
Mind you, this guy's no slouch either, Tyrone May.
Started off well, hasn't he? Running the ball a lot.
Pearce with a kick that's straight into the arms of Liam Marshall and invites him to run the ball back.
Kick on the third from Catalan Dragons. I can only think he popped out, saw some space, thought he could kick to it, but didn't account for Wigan being right on the spot.
Haven't got the kicking game quite in shape this evening yet, the Catalan Dragons. Here is Kai Pearce-Paul, and Kai Pearce-Paul is tipped in the tackle there by Kieran. And not surprisingly, he's penalised the Catalan centre.
Come on, mate, it's over. Over there, please, over there.
Just coming up to a quarter of the game gone, and Adam Kieran gets this wrong, doesn't he? Tries to dip underneath. Kai Pearce-Paul picks him up, upends him, drops him on his shoulder.
I get it.
You see, there's a bit of a tug from Tyrone May over the top, which didn't help initially, but then he pulls out of it, and the tackle from Kieran.
Well, Kai Pearce-Paul has one of the best offloads in Super League, so there's an element of panic when you get near him. You don't know where to grab hold of the ball. 6'6", 6'7" frame. He gets that all wrong, Kieran. And they're having a look at this to see whether it's a little bit more than a penalty.
It's just a penalty.
Yeah.
Lee Moore in conversation with video ref Chris Kendall, and he's called out Adam Kieran.
Mate, legs go above the horizontal. He lands on his shoulder. That's what saves you from it being a red card. It's reckless, it's a sin bin. You've been saved because he lands on his shoulder.
Yeah, it's tough, but under the rules that we play now, his hips were above his head, above the horizontal, so yeah, teams nowadays in Super League well equipped to defend with 12 men for 10 minutes.
Well, what an opportunity this is for the Wigan Warriors. The Catalan Dragons down to 12 for 10 minutes, Wigan in possession. And Wigan have brought that man onto the field. Ethan Havard returning after 11 games out after a nasty hamstring injury. You can see that left thigh heavily strapped. Catalan with a massive defending job to do here now. Harry Smith, French lobs the ball to Miski cutting back in field. The only consolation for the Catalan Dragons would be that if Kieran had got that even more wrong, it would have been a red card. But there could be punishment to pay here as Farrell slips the clutches, and Farrell is denied at the last. What brilliant defence that was. Tom Davies and Mitchell Pearce to deny him. Fifth tackle. Brad O'Neill gets the ball away. Harry Smith kicks cross field. Miski will challenge. Tom Johnston claims it. What a catch that was.
What a catch that was, but what a tackle that was from Mitchell Pearce. Saved a certain 4-point, if not 6. Incredible effort. Look, great ball. He gets through the line. And how many times have we seen Farrell come up with that play? That second effort, that's heroic defence.
Here is Tom Davies, Mitchell Pearce, season campaigner, 34 years of age, a grand final winner with the Sydney Roosters in 2013 against Manly.
He's experienced to know that it's not just about the tries that you score, it's about the tries that you prevent. That is a try all day for Liam Farrell, were it not for that extra effort from Mitchell Pearce.
Tompkins booms the ball downfield, Kieran off the field, the second man to be sin-binned in a grand final following Tommy Makinson last year. Paul Seguier on the sideline, patched up. The good news for Catalan Dragons, he's passed his head injury assessment, will be able to return.
Well, it looks like Matt Whitley's defending out wide to cover where Adam Kieran was. Come up with 2 very good tackles, and the first one on Jay Field, cutting down his space. Well, big work ethic here now over the next 7 minutes for Catalan. They won't want to give the Warriors any opportunities.
Here is Farrell once more.
5. Move it!
Another one of the highly decorated Wigan players, 4 times a grand final winner. Harry Smith, the kick, not so deep. Tompkins comes to claim it and makes that his definitively.
That's brilliant work, isn't it, from Tompkins? Pressure on his side. At the minute they've got the ball, when it's their turn to defend the Catalan Dragons, they've got to be good at the play of the ball. Not give a penalty away, not give a 6 again, not give a knock on, and not give the ball away, Bill. Wow.
What side is it? This side?
Tom Johnson.
This side. Where do you want it? This side. All right.
He knows, doesn't he? He made a mistake in the game last week against St Helens, and I remember Sam Tompkins just giving him a pat on the head. You can see he's got hold of that ball. He looks up at players in front of him, and for a split second that focus is gone. But Sam Tompkins got round Tom Johnson, had a word in his ear, and his next couple of contributions were very positive for his side.
Wigan brimming with confidence going into this game. They won 10 Super League matches in a row. Their last defeats was back on July the 7th, when they were beaten by bottom of the table and now relegated Wakefield in Golden Point extra time. Here's Field to Wardle, flings the ball back in Field, and Field claims it.
Well, didn't he do well then to prevent the Warriors from scoring a try then? Obviously got the numerical advantage, looking to make the ball work.
Farrell. Here is Ethan Havard, Bulgarian-born front rower. Smithers. Cade Ellis now. Bousquet out there, Julian Bousquet, seasoned campaigner, as Catalan try and hold firm with 12 men. But can they do that as Marshall scoops the ball up? It'll be a real boost for the Catalan Dragons if they can keep Wigan at bay. Well, there's a high shot on Marshall.
Contact with the head.
Now will they opt to take 2?
That's the big call, isn't it? Or do you keep on going here?
I think you'd listen to the players, wouldn't you? I'm looking at the activity down on the sideline. There was a suggestion and a signal to take 2. But I'd say Catalan Dragons would be delighted with Wigan taking 2.
Liam Farrell has just told the referee they're going to go.
If there is a good penalty to give away, that's one of them, because it lets the clock tick, doesn't it?
Exactly, and do you know, like, obviously down here, you've got a man in the sin bin. Catalan will be really happy that the Warriors are taking this 2 points. I'd take that all day from defending Milan with 1 man down.
And I think it's a little nod to what we've seen so far. We've seen 2 desperate efforts from the Dragons to deny Wigan Warriors when it looked a certain try.
Wigan coach Matt Peat watching on as Harry Smith lines up his first kick of the match at goal. Can blow hot and cold, Harry Smith off the tee. He was hot last week against Hull KR, 7 from 7 he kicked. So on that basis, he is in form. This to get the first points of the game on the board after just over 25 minutes here at Old Trafford.
Well, do you know what, in big games, you take the points, don't you? And Adam Kieran last week, there was on 3 occasions, they've gone for the penalties, which more or less got them the game with Sam Tompkins trying at the end of the game. So big games, take the points, keep knocking them over. There's just under 5 minutes to go in that sin bin. So Matty Peat knows that they've still got a few more sets now where they can try and shift the ball with some real purpose and intent, cause Catalan some issues and problems.
And I think it's another nod to the long game that Wigan are willing to play. Patience, making sure that when they get the opportunity to strike, whether it's as a try or a conversion, they take it.
Tompkins resumes for the Catalan Dragons. Wigan with Cade Ellis, who's done well in the absence of front rowers Liam Byrne and Mike Cooper. Havertz, Kieran watching on from the sideline. Just over 2.5 minutes for him to wait
the offload.
Kai Pearce-Paul, an ankle tap on him, and just stops his progress on the halfway line. Catalan desperate, and Kai Pearce-Paul loses that ball. There's a hand in there.
You're slow on the floor into that.
Again, Kai Pearce-Paul,
the first time.
long-rangey kind of runner, and he's a run threat, he's a pass threat, he's an offload threat, and he just couldn't hold his time, could it? Romain Navarrete spent too much time in, referee blows the whistle.
Big opportunity for Wigan now. Big point in the game. They're on the board. Catalan still with Kieran on the sideline. They've got the penalty. They've got an opportunity to exploit their numerical superiority. Seguier is back out there, head strapped. Havard felt that challenge. Slow to get to his feet. Smith. Here is Liam Farrell now.
He's gone. He's pulled his hamstring again there.
You're on kidding me. He is looking to the sidelines. Oh, Ethan Havard limping as Harry Smith finds Bevan French. French on it comes to field, and Johnston makes the tackle. Oh, and Ethan Havard is leaving the field as we see this. Wigan come up with a knock-on. It was a gamble for Wigan. After 11 games out, Ethan Havard selected on the bench.
Well, that's it. Like leaving young Harvey Hill out, but he's so important, isn't he? Mike Pete knows what he's got with that youngster, but obviously wasn't ready for this game. But there's no second chances in the grand final. And Mike Pete knows exactly what he can do.
Gonna bring him on, is he on?
He's took the gamble, it's not paid off, he's had to go off injured. But Catalan celebrate, they celebrate with the mistake.
Just let him on,
They defended the line.
Let's go then, boys.
Willie Isa looks like he's coming onto the field.
But obviously he's not going to be back on the field, so that alters the rotation. Big bench for Wigan. Patrick Mago doesn't tend to do big minutes. What effect that will have, we'll wait and see.
You can hear the Wigan fans away to our left in the Stretford end, absorbing that news that young Ethan Havard has not lasted the course.
Well, that means that the likes of Cade Ellis and Tyler Dupree, out-and-out props, along with Patrick Mago, have got to do bigger minutes in the middle of the field. Take Ethan Havard out of there, they've lost that fourth prop forward.
Adam Kieran, meanwhile, waiting on the sideline to come back on to restore Catalan to a full complement.
And if some of those bigger men get tired, it may bring Michael McAloran back in. There's a devastated Ethan Havard on the sideline. No, his night's done.
Julian Bousquet then. Kieran is back out there.
Six again, too much. Come on to the
Bousquet.
Not through the rock. The same as the one down there. One.
6 more tackles for the Dragons. Good opportunity for them.
Marcus go to the side.
Here's Romain Navarrete, once the Wigan Warriors, the French international, the first Frenchman to win in a grand final, in fact, in his Wigan days.
Goal 2.
Navarrete plays the ball, so Catalan, I think, will be fairly content to have got away with just conceding that penalty as Tompkins tries to wriggle his way through. But Smith is with the tackle.
Goal 3.
3 tackles gone this set. Tyrone May, here is McMeekin, but a wall of cherry and white in his way.
Move! Back up here, Hawkeye. Goal 4, that's okay.
Here is Tyrone May now. May stepping back in field, trying to keep Farrell at arm's length. Does that. Pulls Seguier. Seguier bumps off the first challenge, but Wardle.
5.
And Harry Smith assisted by Kai Pearce-Paul.
Goal 5.
Mati Kavalu then spins the ball out to Tyrone May. May on it comes to Pearce. Pearce to Tompkins. Tompkins to Whitley. Whitley bumps off the first challenge. Gets the ball via Kieran to Tom Johnston. Johnston manages to get it out, and it's batted back. It's still batted back, and somehow Wigan have kept possession. That was like a basketball phase.
He did well then, didn't he? Jay Field, with all that pressure. And it was frantic, wasn't it, from Catalan? When Tom Johnson got hold of the ball, he caught him the last play, looking to offload it. And Jay Field rescued the situation.
We had a flat patch, didn't we, when the Simbin was on. Here's the offload, forced from Matt Whitley. Quick hands from the centre, Kieran. And then this offload just gets batted back by Wigan, but you can just feel it ramp up a little bit.
Goal 5.
Still waiting for the first try of the game. Harry Smith with the boot there. His penalty separating these two sides. Tom Davis gathers the kick and then motors back towards the halfway line. Little stumble, makes the 40.
Brad O'Neill, the number 22 for Wigan. That's his 28th tackle in 31 minutes. Big work rate for that man.
Upward square. Goal 2.
Tyrone May. Is Kieran now.
3. Move, Willie.
Just inside Wigan territory. The Catalan Dragons with Julian Busquet.
4.
Season campaigner for the Catalan Dragons, 32-year-old Busquet. Mitchell Pearce. Pearce to Tyrone May. May to Seguier. Seguier.
5.
That's the 5th tackle.
Back up now, please. Hold.
About 25 metres out. The ball with Pearce. Pearce kicks towards the middle of the field, looking for Whitley, but French claims that one emphatically.
Yeah, good play, wasn't it, from French? Didn't take his eyes off that ball, even though Matt Whitley was in the vicinity. You know, just looking at Tyrone May in this game, I think if Catalan had to go on to win this game, I think he's going to be the best player. Things seem to be happening in and around him every time he gets the ball, and his organisational skills as well in the opening 32 minutes.
Goal 3, nice and quick. Good.
There's Wardle now.
4. Move. Oh, goal 4, quick. 40.
Howe with the kick early in the tackle counts, claimed by Tom Johnston. But these two sides know the threats that the opposition wingers possess.
Goal 1, down 10 players, as Maestro.
I was saying before, Bill, about how good both sets of wingers are. Return the ball, Tom Davis involved. Tom Davis, 198 metres last week. Tom Johnson, 174 more than the forwards.
Kieran, here is Whitley now.
Oh, if Tom Johnson is there, then Matt Whitley passes to him.
That's not a great ball, and it's scooped up by Matti Cavallo, who might try and turn this into something. I wonder if when Catalan get into the dressing room at half-time, Steve McNamara will be asking for a bit more passing accuracy. Here is Mike McMeekin. Twice a grand final loser. Hoping it'll be third time lucky McMeekin. McAlorum, nice ball back on the inside from Pearce, finds Romain Navarrete on his shoulder. That's the 5th tackle.
Goal 5.
McAlorum, Tompkins, May little step. Tries to get the ball away. It's picked up by French.
Touched off Wigan.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
I think from an offload.
Play that, mate.
I think Wigan play the ball. And Catalan are going to get a full set of 6 here. As Tyrone May offloads that ball, it hits Kai Pearce-Paul.
The middle. Well done, Johnny.
Good spot.
He looks like he's trying to make that tackle and the ball hits him. Celebrations in the dugout for the Catalan Dragons. Know what an opportunity they've got in front of them now. Is this their first chance, Catalan?
Apart from that kick chase.
Yeah, they haven't had too many.
Big opportunity for them then, with half-time approaching 5 minutes away. They're only about 15 metres away from that Wigan try line. The Catalan supporters, the flags waving in that Sir Alex Ferguson stand, hoping that they can find a way through here. Ikavalu. Ellis up top. Morgan Smithies, they are offside. And do they trust the booting?
Yes.
Now this is the call, isn't it? You know, 2 points lead Wigan have got. You've had a man in the sin bin. You're down here, you get a penalty. Steve McNamara, he said that message out. Yeah, they'll take the 2. Him and O'Carroll sat on his right.
Yeah.
And Sam Tompkins now just comes in, just has a little talk with Michael McLaurin about what they want. And Adam Kieran.
Oh, it's tight, isn't it? Tight.
It's the grand final.
Tighter than a submarine doorbell. There you go. I've not used that one for a bit.
I don't think we have had that this season.
No, not for a while. But it is very tense. And
It's
every
magnificently tense.
Yeah, both sides are really physical, aren't they? The fans are doing their bit to make it into an atmosphere. And on the field, the players are performing. Defensively, both sets of them have been absolutely tearing into each other. Completion rates are pretty high, considering the weather that we've had all day here. The pitch been greasy. And if Adam Kieran knocks over this 2 points...
1 minute, Adam.
Well, that's exactly what that man will be looking for.
They're passionate fans, aren't they, Kieran?
Just...
Who kicked 4 from 4 against St Helens last week. And crucial goals they were as well. That was nerve-jangling. That semi-final. This, the grand final, even more so. 72 goals to his name this season. And Kieran has the opportunity to tie things up here with half-time approaching. No mistake from the former New Zealand warrior, Adam Kieran. 2 points apiece. The lowest scoring first half so far. We've still got 3 minutes to go. But back in 2020, Wigan led 2-0 against Saints at Hull.
We have spoken all week, haven't we, about the Formula 1 race cars, the fast players, the Marshalls, Miskies, Bevan French Field. It's all been about the arm wrestle. It's all been about the patient approach. I'm sure this game will break out at some point, but for now, it's deadlock.
There is Romain Navarrete.
Hull! Release it now! Hull, goal, 1 spins.
Kieran hands the ball to McIlorum. McIlorum to Busquet eventually.
Well, they don't need to panic though, do they?
Hull, goal 2.
You see the cherry and white shirts just flying out the line, trying to force the error. There's only a couple more chances they'll get before half-time.
Seguier
Goal 3rd.
gets to his feet to play the ball. Julian Busquet now. 11 seasons in the colours of the Catalan Dragons, Julian Busquet.
Oh, goal 4, we're going.
McMeekin. Only latterly converted into a prop. Mike McMeekin, he's made a great job of it. Tompkins gets the kick away, straight downfield into the arms of Jay Fields. And here is Liam Marshall.
That's not a bad line. And a solid line to meet them, isn't it?
6 to go, too slow.
Set restart signal by referee Liam Moore.
And things like penalty set restarts, a mistake, that could be the difference whether you win or lose in a big game. The extra tackles, the extra efforts that you have to make.
Thanks, Tony. Hold the 10.
Toby King playing the ball. Mago. Patrick Mago. Solidly dependable from the bench, subbing 26 of 31 games this season, Mago. Here is Harry Smith. Smith to Field. Can Wigan finish this first half with a flourish? Maybe they can, because Field has got away. Field going to goal. What a tackle that was from Tom Johnston. He doesn't just score tries, he could have saved a try there. Smith with a little kick ahead. Johnston is there again to the rescue. Tom Johnston.
Talk about bravery.
2 massive plays there from Tom Johnston.
And I'll tell you what, put that passage of play down to Patrick Mago. His big charge and his ability to keep his feet on the back of that. Jay Field finds the open space.
Tom Johnston might have paid a price for this, you know.
Guys, take your time. Let him get sorted. Take your time.
They haven't got much space to play with on the dead ball line. A beautiful kick from Harry Smith.
Time is off.
He thinks he's secured possession there, and all he's got to do is keep hold of that ball. And that's all he's thinking about. I'm going to keep hold of the ball.
This is the problem with a pitch that is so tight like this. There is no room for error.
And the greasy surface as well. He'll be okay. Tom Johnston. No, they're 2 big efforts from him. Like, not just patting himself on the back from stopping Jay Field from scoring a try. The speedster in the Warriors #1 shirt, but then to get back and prevent Harry Smith, one of the best kickers, from creating a try. Look at this. This is big effort, comes from over the left-hand side, cuts him dead, stops that play, positions himself as second marker, knowing that the pressure is probably going to come over on the left-hand side because he's not in position. And he just turns up, gets himself in the action area, and like I said, not a problem. Big games like this, you have to own those big moments, and there were two big moments from Tom Johnston.
Stay behind. Stay behind.
And I think if he'd got that wrong against Field there, there's every possibility Jay Field would have
We're ready for this drop goal.
completed his mission. French boots
Drop
the
goal.
ball. Smith goes for the one-pointer. And Tompkins gathers it short of the line. And Tompkins will make that ball dead. First half ends with drama as Tom Johnston twice denies Wigan potential try-scoring opportunities. And in the end, after all the fury and ferocity of this first half, it's 2 points apiece.
Well, we wouldn't have expected it any other way, would we? They may be two of the best attacking sides in Super League, but nothing to split them after 40 frenetic minutes in the opening half of the 2023 Betfred Super League Grand Final here at Old Trafford. They swap penalties. Harry Smith getting off the mark for the start of the second half, as I'm sure is their head coach, Steve McNamara, who is joining Jenna Brooks pitchside.
Steve McNamara, is it fair to say they need to be more clinical with ball in hand and on last play?
Yeah, I thought last plays, I thought we started the game well, but we come with 3 poor ones, a sin bin in, so we had to defend our backsides off for a while there, but fresh start now, second half, and away we go.
Speaking of defence, how great has Mitchell Pearce and Tom Johnston been?
Yeah, look, Tom came with 2 special plays at the end of the game, which we needed, but long way to go now. 40 minutes is what grand finals should be, all in the balance.
Good luck.
Yeah, tight first half, might be 2 massive defensive performances from both sides.
Yeah, it takes exactly the game we would expect. Cagey, quite a stop-start. The rucks, as we expected, quite messy. So we just have to be patient, stick to what we know, and when the big moments present themselves, we've got to take them.
And Ethan Havard, it was a risk, it was a gamble, it hasn't paid off. Does that affect things at all?
Not really. We was expecting 25 minutes from Ethan. He's probably got about 15 out of him there, so it's not ideal. But he's played a part, and our middles look fresh. The game's very stop-start, so we should be okay.
Go well, Matty. Big atmosphere here.
Ryan Hall, you've won 6 grand finals here at Old Trafford. Jamie Jones-Buchanan 7, and Phil Clark, you have played 4 Premiership finals here. Prediction time as we're locked up at 2 points apiece at half-time. Ryan, who wins this one and why?
At the moment, I think Catalan's, because of the work they've done in the first quarter.
Catalan have been the best team in this game so far, but I've never seen the team rise like we're going to have at the back end of the season. I think they're going to carry on and continue to win.
The romantic part of my brain says Catalan, the logical part says Wigan.
All right, Matt Pete says they're willing to go the distance, as are Steve McNamara's Catalan Dragons. A reminder, if we are locked up at tied up after 80 minutes, it will go to golden point extra time. You'll enjoy all of those thrills in the company of our commentary team, Barry McDermott, Terry O'Connor, and we'll say good evening once more to Bill Arthur.
Thank you, Brian. 26th Super League Grand Final. Second half about to get underway. The scores level at 2 points apiece. As mentioned previously, the first time since 2012, since it's been all square at half-time. That was Leeds against Warrington, 14-all. Leeds went on to win on that occasion. It is so difficult to see how this one is going to pan out. You just wonder if at some point these wingers that Wigan have had running amok in Super League this season will get their chance. Or likewise will Catalans. Tom Johnston, a real threat, but defensive heroics from him at the end of that first half. Tompkins gets the second half underway and may go with the first charge of the second half.
But someone's going to make a name for themselves, aren't they? In season 2023, when you look at it and look what's happened, very cagey in that first half, you can tell by the scoreline. And I think that Catalan probably just edged it in that first half. Defensively, they were good. They managed to get 7 offloads away. Wigan didn't look to force the ball. They didn't manage to get 1 away. Whether that's just because they want to play the percentage sort of game, but they're still looking to throw the ball around.
Seguier throwing himself into the challenge on Morgan Smithies there. 2 players with a similar sort of philosophy. The chance opens up for Wigan here now. The chance opens up for King with Miskey on his outside. Gives the pass to Miskey and maybe just delayed a hint too much. Miskey comes back in field, then goes back out.
What you would say as well, though, Tom Johnson did a decent job. He didn't bite in and try and solve it on his own.
On the last, the kick cross field towards the other flank. The ball is going to end up in the arms of Ikavalu, and that is a let-off for the Catalan Dragons there.
Of course it is, and that's what Wigan have got. They'll look up, they'll see something, they'll play it. As soon as a player makes the wrong decision defensively, like good teams, they'll get you on the edge.
Well, you got your wish, Bill, didn't you? A little bit of ball freedom. It all came again from Patrick Mago. Runs like a truck, and on that occasion, finds a pass, and then Wigan finds some space over on their right.
The Catalan managed to keep the threats of Miskey at bay. The Lebanese international has 18 tries in his last 9 Wigan games. Here is Mike McMeekin, Basingstoke's very own.
Stand up, goal 5.
Michael Oram, Tompkins, just over the 40-metre line, thumps the kick downfield into the arms of Jay Fields.
Solid line in front of him again. You have to commend both sets of players. Kick chase, effort, and you can talk about defensive systems all you like. It's the attitude and the ability to apply that attitude that's on show today.
Toby King, Busquet, Whitley in there to make the tackle. Sam Powell, his testimonial season, will it conclude with grand final glory here for another long-term Wigan servant? Powell, his 6th grand final appearance. To go down the short side, and Wardle is away. Wardle is away. He's got a man outside him, and Wardle is into touch, and Catalan
Tom Davis, correct,
managed to survive again.
Well, something's happened in back play with Tom Davis.
We were in the picture.
Magnificent tackle from Sam Tompkins. As that line is broken, you feel, don't you, Jake Wardle's got all kinds of things going through his mind. Wonderful decision to go on the short side, and Tom Davis is holding Liam Marshall back.
He's going to get 10 minutes in the sin bin.
Another sin binning.
Wow. Wow. Well, they cut him open on the right-hand side, they cut him open on the left, they don't score a try, but the benefit and what they do get is that man in the sin bin for 10 minutes.
No, I don't think they'll take 2 here, will they? They'll want the ball, they want to pile the pressure on Catalan Dragons with 12 men.
That's a big price to pay as Davis leaves the field. They denied Wigan there, but it's going to cost them, you feel. Catalan survived in the first half when Kieran was in the sin bin. They're going to have to do it all over again.
Can't keep doing it, you can't keep just coming up with indisciplined effort. It's cost you.
Oh, Kai Pearce-Paul bouncing, getting the ball away to Wardle. Wardle trying to step back in field, just outside that Catalan 10. Wigan starting this second half on fire. And the Wigan supporters sensing their opportunity here. Smithies, Wigan playing towards that Stretford end where their supporters are packed. Powell's pass. Harry Smith, here is French, oh! Massive hit on Willie Isa.
Was it Adam Kieran on Willie Isa then? Tell you what, the outside backs have pulled off some decent shots.
Isa nonchalantly gets back to his feet after this. Harry Smith, field, the ball.
There's an obstruction, Bill. You know them inside defenders have got to work really hard. When the ball goes away from you, you've got to keep pushing. Look, you can see the line's not quite intact. It's Mike McMeekin that's taken out. Was it Morgan Smithies that's trying to get through the line? Yeah. And he just runs into Mike McMeekin, stops him in his tracks and opens the gap up.
We look at the legality of of plays like that on inside-outside shoulders. Here's Wardle again, makes the break. Tom Davis and Liam Marshall in back play. Well, he knows it was always a risk and a gamble. Whenever you tug a player, you're behind, and you tug the player in front, the back of his shirt, he knows his side are under a bit of pressure now.
A grand final winner in 2018 with Wigan, Tom Davis. Now in Catalan colours, and what a success he has been. 81 Catalan appearances. Tom Davis has got 51 tries, but he's going to have to sit out the next 8 minutes or so. And Catalan, they have shown such defensive desire already this evening, operating with 12 men. It's got to have an impact on them.
Well, you'd think so. They're back in the game. You don't respect the decisions from the referee. You don't respect possession and where you are. You keep turning over. Look, mistakes like that. It just puts you on the back foot, doesn't it? Makes this play the ball a bit slower, so the next carry, it's not really going to trouble the Warriors line.
Bill, ideally you wouldn't want to lose any players to the sin bin, but they handled and managed the first occasion. Think about what confidence they'll get if they do manage the second one.
Tompkins launches the kick, Field is underneath it, and Field will look to counter as he always does. First look is what the opposition defensive line might offer. Here is Marshall. Marshall, little shimmy, but Seguier was quickly in there to make the tackle for the Catalan Dragons.
Yeah, nice harassing defence, wasn't it, on Marshall? And again, just getting up quick, cutting down the thinking time for those outside backs.
Release, go free.
King hassled with the tackle. Now then, Smith looking maybe for a 40-20, but it's straight into the arms of Matt Ikevalu.
Do you know what, Bill? Instead of kicking that ball, then I think it was on to run it. There was only 3 defenders defending the right-hand side.
And let's not forget, Ikevalu is the centre that's actually replacing the winger.
Matt Ikevalu won the World Club Challenge in his Roosters days against Wigan in 2019.
I'm sure Matt Pete is getting the message down. Let's have a look at them on the edges.
There's Navarrete. That's a big stop on Romain Navarrete from his former teammates. McAlorum, Bousquet. 5th tackle. Catalan happy to play the game in Wigan territory as Tompkins puts the pressure on Miskey. The tackle well timed by Whitley.
He does a lot of those things really well, Matt Whitley. Times his run to perfection, therefore his tackle.
And King can't make any progress. It's good from Catalan.
He's got another 5 tackles. It was Michael McLaurin that shot the line, then he pulled the trigger and went for King.
Here's Marshall. 2 points apiece it remains.
Go 3, good.
Powell. Powell, little dart from him.
Move, squirmy kick. Hold. Go 4.
Here is Patrick Mago. These two sides battering each other. They have been all night. Few frills out there.
Well, he just drops that ball, doesn't he, Patrick
I think he's
Mago,
offloading it.
Yeah, he did. He dropped the ball trying to get that offload away.
Jay Field would do well following the big man whenever he carries forward.
Here is Field now. Fields going towards the sideline. Back infield to Wardle. Wardle flings it back. It reaches Field again. And Field gets away. Field past the French. Forward to French again. Miles forward.
And that's what I was talking about before. Instead of kicking the ball, run it on the last player when the winger or the centre who's dropped to the wing has had to drop back. There's some space. If you've got players like Field and French who can cause problems with the speed, run the ball. Just ask some questions. It's going to be a big play that wins this game.
It could be a defensive big play. Tom Johnson makes that tackle, comes from the opposite wing.
Wry smile from Bevan French. The closest we have come to a try tonight.
Well, we're collecting the metres that players run. Tom Johnson is on 96. I'd love to know how many he has done without the ball. He's got 96 with the ball, and he's just saved another certain try. Without him, being there, I think Wigan go in and get the first try of the game. That's the reason he's being congratulated. He's over on the top of the screen to our right. You can see he's always moving. He's always in motion, anticipating if he's needed, he's going to have to be in the right place at the time. Jay Field thinks, I'm in. All I've got to do is accelerate to the corner. Tom Johnson, no you don't, pal.
Tom Davies still waiting on the sideline for his return. 4 minutes still without a full complement for the Catalan Dragons. Takiaho is back out there. Oh, Willie Isa. Come to Willie, he says.
Do you know, they've got to be pretty clinical here now with the accuracy of the passing from dummy half. Look, when you're a player who's carrying the ball from back near your own line, you know that shots like this are coming at you frequently, and they're just getting off the line, they're intimidating.
And that's where you need your support runners, Tez. You can't run one out, you've got to run in numbers, so they can't all swarm towards the ball carrier.
Tompkins, the pass is a stray one. It's picked up to their relief by Matty Cavallo. That almost gifted Wigan possession there.
Even the most experienced player panicking a bit.
Pearce drives the kick down deep into the arms of Abbas Miski. Once the London Broncos and Manly, and now a Wigan hero in a very short space of time because of his try-scoring exploits.
Incredible to think he was on loan at London in the Championship at the start of the year, and look at him now.
Pearce with the tackle. Here is Liam Marshall now. Catalan just clinging on slightly here at the moment. Patrick Mago up to the halfway line. 4 tackles gone this set for the Wigan Warriors. Smith. Here is Field once more. Field gets the pass away to the threatening Wardle. Wardle away from the first. Not to Farrell. Farrell gets the pass away to Marshall. And Marshall will get the first try of the night. Eventually Wigan find a way through. Farrell denied, but Marshall would not be. Well, they have been threatening that virtually from the start of this second half. And it is Liam Marshall getting his 24th of the season, who finally finds a way through. Liam Marshall, who got a hat-trick in the semi-final against Hokea last week, gets the first try of the night after 51 minutes.
Well, there's a different mindset, isn't there, in this Wigan side. Good footwork from Wardle. Farrell comes up with a play that supplies the pass to Liam Marshall in his first grand final appearance. He comes up with the try. Quality play. That left edge has been threatening all second half. They've been tormenting Catalan for the 12 minutes. And that's what they were after. Matty Pete looked pretty composed, happy at the start of the game. Knew exactly what sort of plays he's got within his ranks. And even though they lost Ethan Abbott with that injury, he still knows that the other 16 players left available to him could go on and win this job.
A brutal try to concede for the Catalan Dragons. Tom Davies is imminently returning to the side where the try is scored. They lacked numbers because the winger wasn't on the field. There was 2 minutes of his sin bin left when the try is scored. Ruthless from Wigan though.
And the Wigan supporters with a try to cheer at last. Amazingly, for all his service to the club, Liam Marshall playing in his first grand final. He missed out in 2018 and in 2020. Now Harry Smith. Bang on target, crucially for Wigan tonight, who lead by 8 points to 2.
Wigan Warriors smart enough on that occasion to find the space, find where the opportunity was. It wasn't pretty. Offload you wouldn't normally want to see, but if an offload goes to hand, it's a good one. And Matty Pete, Thomas Luluai, the rest of the coaching staff just breathe a little bit lighter, and a big moment for Liam Marshall. I bumped into his dad, David Marshall, who also represented the Wigan Warriors back in the late 80s and 90s. What a day for that family.
So can Catalan respond? They have been on the back foot so far in this second half. Tom Davies prowling, still waiting for his chance to come back, to get out there and maybe to atone. And ironically, they lost his services because it was Liam Marshall who took out the game, wasn't it, in that the previous Wigan attack. Davis back out there as Wigan again come to this side and again try and get Field away. They appeal for a high tackle on their man.
And even with Tom Davis back on the field now, they still look like they look at that left-hand side, don't they? They didn't come up with one offload in the first half. They come up with 4 in this second half.
Here they come again on the last. Smith kicking on the run. Davis comes to claim the ball and does well there. First touch since his return.
What a confident catch. He's obviously had 10 minutes to think about what his side need, but we've got one of the world's best wingers in Ryan Hall as our studio guest. He'll talk about how difficult it is. There's that catch. Again, how difficult it is to play against Wigan, knowing that they kick on 3, they kick on 4, so you may have to go back and anticipate the kick. But if the kick doesn't come, you have to join the defensive line again, so always on your toes.
Takiaho, twice a grand final winner in his MRL days, Takiaho. Tyrone May, a grand final winner in his Penrith days.
He just pulls it back then, Tyrone May, instead of passing that ball. If he passes that ball, I think Wigan are in with an intercept.
Pierce, bit of space there, and Field has to come across and gather that one. Whitley with the tackle. Born on the border of Wigan and St Helens, Matt Whitley. Here is King.
Tyler Dupree back on for Wigan now. Patrick Mago getting a bit of air back in those lungs. I'm sure we'll see him again before the end of the match. Here's Tyler Dupree.
He's played in a grand final. It was an academy grand final in his Leeds days where his career started, Tyler Dupree. Lost to Wigan. Now he's hoping to be on the winning side with Wigan. As Smithies plays the ball, he's Powell, Harry Smith. The kick is charged down and picked up by McMeekin.
Yeah, that's some good pressure on Harry Smith. He's calling for the ball. He's organising. Ryan McMeekin now just gets to 6 again, restart here.
Pulls it out anyway, so.
There is Kieran. On the plus side with these sin binnings, you've got Kieran and Davies who've done 10 minutes less. Whether that can have any bearing. Here's Takiaho, because this has been a gruelling contest.
I think they've missed Takiaho. He does have that passing game in his toolkit. The other players that play for Catalan Dragons, their head down, more about momentum and speed of play the ball, but he offers something different, Takiaho.
Garcia playing the ball, 3 tackles gone. And Tyrone May going nowhere because Willie Isa was very quickly up on him.
Yeah, nice read from the back rower.
Tompkins, his Pierce, lovely step, then flicks the ball, but Tompkins is going to have to gather it. Oh, good hands from Garcia. Here's Seguier, and Wardle quickly up to close down Seguier. Scrambling from the Catalan Dragons there. On the last, Pierce gets the kick away despite the attention of Kai Pierce-Paul, and it's well claimed by Miski, despite the traffic all around him.
Well, kicking to Miski's side again, looking for Tom Johnson to get up and challenge him. Been a lot bigger than Miski, but look at this. Again, good play from the wingman.
Miski once more. Scored a hat-trick against the Catalan Dragons in August, Abbas Miski. The last time these two sides met, 34-0 it was. This, a very, very different contest, this one. This is a bruising battle between the top 2 in Super League. French, room to kick. And Tompkins will have to gather that virtually on his own try line. And French has chased all the way. and French it is who makes the tackle.
Every time he kicks the ball, he's always first down. He's not waiting for any of his teammates to get up with him. And mainly because they can't get up with him, he's that quick.
You just feel the shift in balance now, don't you?
Yeah.
Wigan growing in, look like they're running downhill towards the final quarter, and Catalan behind on the scoreboard, just finding it a bit difficult.
And they've had a lot of work to do in this second half, the Catalan Dragons, a lot of defensive work.
Yeah, they look like they're desperate for a couple of penalties here now to give them some more energy. Steve McNamara knows it's going to be a tough ask to beat Wigan, and two men have been sin-binned.
He's said, yeah, Artie Morg is on the bench. He didn't use Artie Morg in the game against St Helens last week, the semi-final victory.
He's got to bring him on, hasn't it? Michael McAlorum leads the line in defence, but he'd spark up the number 9 position, I'm sure, Artie Morg.
Tompkins under pressure, the kick is comfortably into the arms of Toby King.
Bill, especially if some of those Wigan players have to play bigger minutes because of Ethan Havard.
Morg to exploit the fatigue factor, maybe. Here's Powell. Liam Marshall now against Seguier. We've got that. You can see the blood just oozing from the cut on his forehead, but he's done well since returning to the fray. Smithies. And again kicking early. Good kick from Smith into the corner. And Tompkins is penned in.
It's terrific kicking, isn't it? They're really isolating Sam Tompkins, who, unlike most fullbacks, wants to find a winger to gain that ground.
Davis taking matters into his own hands and almost flirting with the sideline.
You know, Bill, there's a real defensive attitude now. They've got the noses in front on the scoreboard, kicking on the third play, knowing then everything else seems to be in the balance. They've got to make Catalan play from deep in their own half.
There's a weariness about Catalan at the moment.
Yeah, and to make it worse, they've just lost the back. Mate Cavallo's limping off on the sideline. Manu Mao is on. So Catalan Dragons shuffling the pack.
McAlorum it is putting the kick in on the 5th tackle, and it bounces nicely for Field, who returns it at pace until he's stopped in his tracks by Manu Mao. Here is Miski. Oh, that's a penalty. Takiaho was high.
It's a grab, isn't it, from Takiaho? You know, sometimes when you start getting a bit fatigued, you start making those mistakes, the grab, the lunges, and it just clips him. As soon as he does it and makes contact, he turns round to look at the referee, Liam Moore, knowing that he's probably going to get picked up for it.
Wigan definitely having the better of this second half so far, not just by virtue of the fact that they've scored that try from Liam Marshall, but territorially they've had the upper hand.
It was just a different attitude. They come out in the first 5 minutes, they threw the ball around, they broke them on either edge. Since then, they've just been taking them on up the middle of the field. The forward's been doing a job, been rolling forward. Again, going short side.
Field, he is just probing, looking for a gap, and you get the feeling he is going to find one very soon. Powell, Smithies, Smith, French, quick hands. Oh, Miski, good juggling work from Abbas Miski. He powers back in field. Thumping tackle from Manu Mao. Needed to be to stop Abbas Miski's rumble. Here is Tyler Dupree. Dupree, that looked like another high tackle. It was.
Well, they'll go for 2 points here. They're absolutely desperate. They're clinging on. Catalan, the game's too quick for them. Bit of a step, bit of a change of direction. Beats Mickey McLaurin. Gets a high shot from Adam Kieran.
They've got to make that change, haven't they, Catalan Dragons? Surely. Artie Morg just below us, warming up.
Well, he came on at the Magic weekend and he had a big
comes
influence.
Up, and you do make a bit of force with the head. I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt on this one and say it's a penalty. Just be very careful, mate.
Okay. In the first half. He'll be in cherry and white next season.
Well, it was secondary contact to the head, according to the referee, Liam Moore. I thought for a second there could have been another one. There could have been another sin bin.
Well, he waited for a grand final sin binning till last year's Tommy Makinson sin binning, the first ever, and then you get two in one grand final. Kieran and Tom Davis of the Catalan Dragons, who will be grateful that Harry Smith is going for 2 points, just to give him a bit of a breather.
Cheers, Chris. Yeah, I agree with that.
So Smith 2 from 2 to his name. And the way he's been kicking tonight, you fancy that he's going to extend the Wigan Warriors' lead, take him into double figures, and make life even trickier for the Catalan Dragons. Wigan's season grand final campaign as Catalan Dragons only in their second grand final, looking to become only the 5th side Catalan to add their name to the tally of grand final winners. But as it stands at the moment, with Harry Smith adding 2 more points and making it 10 out of 10 for him in the playoffs, and 10-2 on the scoreboard.
That's it, he's been kidding everyone all year, hasn't he? You just look at that scoreboard. He's kicked 6 points. They went into the playoffs with a 62% success rate from the kicking team. Harry Smith, well, when it's mattered, he's been nailing them from everywhere.
Can Catalan find some inspiration from somewhere? Can they turn the tide here at Old Trafford?
Well, the big thing for them now, because they're chasing the game, they've got to be disciplined. We know how sometimes over the years how they've reacted when things have gone against them. The big thing for them now is playing with a cool head and a cool mind.
Let's go down to the sidelines. More news from Jenna.
Yeah, Bill, a couple of minutes ago we saw Matty Kavalu come off with what looked like a head injury. I can tell you he's actually been having his knee checked, the medial ligaments, his ACL as well. They have just strapped his knee, which I'd say is likely to return.
Thanks, Jenna. That's the 5th tackle. Tyler Dupree playing the ball. French kicks downfield. Tom Davis gathers. Enthusiastic returner of the ball, Tom Davis.
On the mark. Go 1.
But not getting any chains out of the defensive line.
2.
Tompkins likewise. The step that wrong-footed St Helens last week in that dramatic final seconds of the game.
3.
Well, Wigan have seen it all before, of course.
Back now, Sam, come on. Hold. Go 3, nice and quick.
Julian Bousquet.
Well, back onto the field now to lend his weight and try and get some go forward.
There is Pearce. Pearce, Tyrone May. Manu Mao. That's the 5th tackle, good defence. Down the short side goes Tyrone May. May with the kick. Johnston was battling for the ball, it's still loose. And Pearce will, just for neatness, make a dive on the ball, but it'll be knocked on by the Catalan Dragons.
He does everything right, doesn't he? Plays to the whistle, Mitchell Pearce.
Discipline, boys,
But there's a clear knock-on from Tom Johnson. But that change we've been talking about, the change in the dynamics for Catalan Dragons, looks like it's about to happen. Artia Morg, number in hand, shirt off, ready to make a name for himself.
Still 1.
Here's Sam Powell. Wardle. McMeekin. And Garcia, the captain, the tackler. Here is Marshall. Archie Morg on the sideline. Didn't get on against Saints last week, having been out of the side for quite a while.
Goal 4. Cheers, mate.
Well, he did a job against Wigan at Magic Weekend. He got a try and 7 goals.
What we get, hold.
They wouldn't give for a try from Archie Morg. But it's Wigan on the attack, and it's Field, and Field trying to cut through, and Pearce with a good tackle. That'll be the turnover.
Well, you like it again, don't you? They're not just on the, because it's the last play, they're going to kick. Harry Smith just has a little look at what the defence is doing, what's unfolding from them, and chooses to run that ball And the amount of times there's been some half breaks over on the left-hand side from J Field. Certainly troubling Catalan.
Morg, his first involvement, and he has replaced the veteran Mitchell Pearce. So Pearce leaves the field as McMeekin looks to play the ball. Here is Tyrone May. Morg stretches for the ball, gets the pass away. Kieran tackles. Morg once more. May. Tompkins signalling where he wants McMeekin to go. And then McMeekin. Footwork from the front rower.
Release now, 5.
Cade Ellis denying him maybe an offload. Morg with the kick outside of the boot. Miskey again underneath it. No great pressure on the winger.
Cast your mind back to Steve McNamara at half-time. We've got to be better on last plays. We haven't seen much improvement, have we, in the second half? They're not putting the blow-touch pressure on Wigan as they are to them.
Pensive-looking Catalan Dragons coach Steve McNamara, Eamon O'Carroll alongside him. Marshall, McIlaurin, feisty, terrier-like in the face of Wigan players. Mickey Mack. Here is Liam Farrell now.
5. Move. Go 5.
Harry Smith. That's a tall kick. Davis is going to come for it, and Davis claims it well.
As soon as he gets the ball, he's just desperate to get to the ground. You know, Wigan now, they're just going to knock off these sets of 6, aren't they? They've probably got about 5, maybe 6 sets of 6 to defend. And when you've been the best defensive team in the competition all year, you're not going to let any one of those 36 tackles that you've got to make in the remainder of this game, you're not going to miss a tackle.
Tell you what, we spoke before the game, and a lot was made before a game about the threat of the wingers. You know, Miskey, Marshall, Davis, Johnston. They seem to have spent most of the night looking up into the skies, waiting for the ball to come down.
And that's because of the respect that their opposition have for them and the game management.
Oh, the pass from Tompkins sails out of play.
He's got to try and force things, he's got to make things happen. But the player in front of him, Harry Smith, with the ball when he's, in terms of passing, with the ball when he's been kicking, and on that occasion in defence, he puts enough doubt in the mind of Sam Tompkins. Harry Sunderland Trophy is always a coveted one. It's something that everybody is revered around the game while they're winning it. We're into that territory now with quite a few that are putting the name forward, but I reckon, you know, it's going to be one of those halfbacks that have managed to control the game.
Here is Kai Pearce-Paul, hoping to bow out as a Wigan player with grand final glory. Willie Isa, season campaigner Willie Isa, made his 200th Wigan appearance last weekend in the semi-final win against Hull KR. Cade Ellis. Wigan edging their way forward. They lead by 10 points to 2 as Powell picks the ball up. Smith back on the inside to Smithism. Busquet comes and stops him in his tracks. Catalan still battling, but they have been up against it for most of this second half. Smith's kick. Davies again prepares for the ball. This time Field gets it and tries to offload it, and it's into the hands of Whitley, who is carted towards the sidelines but manages to get to ground.
I think Harry Smith has been brilliant in this second half. He's been leading the way in everything. Look at him defensively there, really slowing that ruck down.
Cheers, mate.
They give her a penalty for a stretch. It couldn't have been Harry. No, I don't think it was Harry Smith. I think it was Cade Ellis.
Innocent Harry Smith.
He's been brilliant. He's been organising the troops. This left edge, he's terrorised them.
And his communication, both verbally and what he's doing with his hands and his arms, the way he's pointing, the way he's manoeuvring people around. They've got to think clear, haven't they, halfbacks? They've got to be decisive, and they've got to have commitment in those decisions that they make.
Takiaho plays the ball. Garcia on it, comes to Tyrone May. May to Manu Mao, but that's good defence on their own 40 from the Wigan Warriors, who've shown precious little sign of allowing the Catalan Dragons back into this game. Catalan are going to have to conjure something up, like they did last week against St Helens. Here is Archie Morg. Morg running it. Morg taking them on.
And that's what they've not had enough of. They've not had enough of run threats from genuine speedsters with decent footwork.
Here's May on the last. It reaches Tompkins. Tompkins, little dink kick over the top. Davis claims it, but look at the Wigan players to stop him.
Turn it over, boys. Turn it over there.
And you look at that, 5 players.
Big stand over.
5 players that's in attendance, just not allowing Tom Davis to offload that ball, get it back to the likes of Sam Tompkins or Matt Whitley.
Discipline now, Catalan. Discipline.
Do you know, in a game with this pressure, of this magnitude, we reckon that Wigan have made 345 and only missed 9.
Hold the 10. Hold.
Incredible effort from Wigan, and every time that line has been broken or a mistake's made, a mate is covering a mate's back.
Catalan trying to restrict Wigan's progress here. The clock very much against the Catalan Dragons now. Wigan just need to ride this one out. As Kai Pearce-Paul manages to offload, and Bevan French scurrying from Bevan French.
Mag together. Hold, boys, hold.
Dream Team standoff French. There's Toby King.
5. Move! Back up, Siwa, come on.
King.
Hold. Go 5.
That's the 5th tackle. It's with Smith, and Smith again with a deep kick, but this one straight into the arms of Tom Davis, and Davis launches himself at the Wigan line.
1.
Well, that Wigan line's not going to let slip.
Go 1.
You just see the calls, and you can look at them. Look, nobody jumping the line. Sam Powell just backing off, making sure that he's level with Liam Farrell and Cade Ellis.
Referee tells Archie Morg to get to his feet. Johnston trying to find a way through. Nothing doing. Busquet, very different proposition for the Wigan defence, but they're just as well set to cope with that. 4 tackles gone. McAlorum, here's Tompkins now. Tompkins, and the pass comes off Marshall. And I think Catalan will get this back, will they?
Yeah, he almost gets to the ball, doesn't he, Liam Marshall? Catalan will get this ball at the scrum. Comes out, he's almost got it, hasn't it?
Middle, boys.
And as if to emphasise the defensive effort of Wigan, we've got Morgan Smithies on 50 tackles, we've got Liam Farrell, obviously, it goes without saying, just a couple behind him. Some exceptional effort in the middle.
Catalan's hopes of coming of age in Super League by winning the title for the first time after 18 seasons in the competition. Their hopes are fading. Doesn't look as though there will be a fairy tale ending for Sam Tompkins either, because Wigan have dominated in this second half.
And that's been the difference, hasn't it? You know, Catalan prepared well, they were focused, they knew what lay ahead, but just couldn't go with Catalan in this with Wigan in the second half. Catalan.
Well, no team has failed to score a try in a grand final, so maybe that gives Catalan cause for optimism. Here is Morg. Morg, little kick, I think it was.
He's trying to force something, isn't he now? He's come on at 7. We've seen him a couple of times use the kick. I agree with Tez. He's on there to run, frighten those big men in the middle, run at them, expose the fatigue, and beat them with pace and footwork.
0 coming.
Here's Marshall.
0.
Takiaho. And McAlorum with the tackle. McAlorum still out there, has been from the start, the Catalan Dragons. Hooker, amazingly, he's going around next season. Mickey Mack, 35 years of age. Here is Miski.
2. Move, Julian!
Looking maybe for a gap in the flagging Catalan Dragons defence, which it must be. It's been An epic effort from Catalan.
Yeah, it's been lung busting, hasn't it, for them? They've had to do it tough for 2 minutes, 2 10-minute spells. And the speed has certainly damaged their efforts in those periods.
But even with a full complement, they've rarely looked like troubling Wigan's defence.
They're up against a team that are in red-hot form. The last 10 games, 10 Super League games, they haven't been beaten. They've got a good kick again. The defence, though, on the back of it, it's again, just look at the numbers that they have. Yeah, they don't get another set of 6 here. The last 6 games that Matty Pete's men have played, they've conceded an average of 5 points per game. So again, look at that scoreboard. It's incredible. Their effort, the back end of the year, what they've been chasing down.
That was the turnover. Marshall came down with the ball for Catalan, but couldn't do anything with it. But look at that from Wigan. A present for their supporters at that end of the ground. All wrapped up.
I've really enjoyed the contest, Bill. I know certain people might talk about the lack of points, the lack of tries, but there's beauty in the brutality of our sport sometimes, and the commitment has been outstanding by both teams, but the class has been with Wigan.
But that sums up Catalan's performance. There's been about 4 or 5 moments of that, of passes going astray.
Well, chasing the game, the pressure of playing against a team that defends, you just can't break them down. You're looking to try and break them down. You're looking for that big play.
Kieran trying to burst through. French with the tackle.
And obviously with just a minute 20 to go, they've got to throw everything, haven't they?
May launches everything, but the kick's too deep. And Fields, is there still time for Jay Fields maybe to launch one of his solo counters? Whitley tackling to the last. Coming up to the last minute of this game. Is Marshall and Wigan back in the winner's circle. Saints relinquishing their grip on the Super League crown, and who should step up to take it from them? And this will probably add to the pain. It's the Wigan Warriors. Celebrations already on the sidelines. And away to our left in the Stretford end, the Wigan flags are flying. Matt Peets, calm, collected in his coaching booth. The Catalan supporters who've come here in good numbers, all credit to them, as Tommy Lulawai and Matt Peets celebrate. There's no celebrations for the Catalan players or the Catalan supporters. As Wigan launch one last tack, Tompkins gathers the ball, Tyrone May, and May will take the final tackle of the game. And Matt Peets and Wigan can celebrate a 6th grand final victory on their first return to Old Trafford since 2018. Wigan take the spoils. Tompkins consoled by Liam Farrell, 2 former teammates, and Matt Peets. What a start it has been, what a continuation it has been to his senior coaching career. No joy for Steve McNamara, disappointment for his Catalan Dragons side, who could not find a way through this Wigan Warriors defence. Kate Cust out there to join the celebrations. And Kieran and Johnston disconsolate on the field, but they will get the salute of their supporters for a massive effort. But there was no cutting edge from the Catalan Dragons. They couldn't find a way through the Wigan defence. Just the one try in the game, scored by Liam Marshall. Massive defensive effort from Wigan that has earned them a 10-2 victory.
Thank you very much, Bill, Barry and Terry. The Wigan Warriors are the 2023 Betfred Super League champions. Phil Clark, Jamie Jones-Buchanan, Ryan Hall. A deserved victory for the Warriors after what they've done over 27 rounds in a semi-final against Hull KR and tonight on this field against the Catalan Dragons.
I'll agree with that. I think it was deserved. The second half performance was another level from Wigan, and I think the man who speared that, I'm going to start picking names out straight away. I'm going to go with Harry Smith. He managed that game perfectly. For what a young man he is, to manage a game just like that is fantastic, and I think he might be representing his nation in a couple of weeks' time.
And he's been through a bit this season, all right. He's had some difficulties with the boot. He was flawless in the semi-final and again today. A defensive masterclass to shut the game out and to stifle any Catalan Dragons comeback.
The unstoppable force managed to move the immovable objects. That's what they had to throw at Catalan. Everything, including the kitchen sink. But look at Catalan, the way they defended, some of the try-saving tackles from the likes of Tom Johnson. But we know Wigan are ruthless, they persevere. I think Harry Smith is a picture of that perseverance within his career. And that is ultimately what's got them this grand final win, their character, their tenacity, and absolutely deserve it.
There's a phrase we've heard many times, be comfortable, being uncomfortable. Wigan were that today.
The way, I mean, I think the Dragons can have no regrets because they tried their hardest. They did everything they possibly could. It was one of the better performances perhaps for the season. But I think we've just seen a Wigan team who were, you know, the improvement from the early start of the season to what we've seen in the last 10 games is remarkable. There have been one or two changes in personnel, but their improvement as a team, I think, is dramatic.
It's worth revisiting that point. At Magic Weekend, these two sides met and the Catalan Dragons wiped the floor with the Wigan Warriors. Jay Field played in the halves that day, had a torrid time. The Wigan Warriors knew something had to change, found that combination with French in the halves, brought Tyler Dupree in, and the second half of the season, well, it's been an absolute dream.
Matty Pete said that when he found his formula, it became all about the training field. And those combinations are what's developed over time, the last 10, 11, 12 weeks. And we've seen some of those players come to fruition, reach the best version of themselves. They've brought Tyler Dupree in, and he's cuddling Chris Brooks there, and he's one of many fantastic recruits that Wigan have got, including likes of Adam Kieran, Sammy Walters, Cruz Leamy, Luke Thompson coming in. Wow, have they set a platform out? Not only are they a top quality world-class side, but they've got some more class players to come in as well.
Well, Matt Pete has just made his way over to some of the non-playing players, and it was Cade Cust he first embraced. And it was a difficult journey Cade Cust has had through this season. Played his part early on, made way for the French move into the halves. Well, Matt Pete obviously recognising Cust's contribution to this victory.
I think that's a challenge for lots of coaches. Sometimes you've got to cut a player, you think he's not right, but he can do it in the right way and hopefully maintain a relationship with him, a positive one. You need the squad to stay strong for the rest of the season. And there's Chris Radlinski. I mean,
it's worth noting, Chris Radlinski.
It is. I mean, few clubs have a chief executive who was the man of the match in this equivalent match in 1995. He knows the game at several different levels, and I think that's why Wigan are now one of the stronger clubs, if not the strongest as they are tonight.
He was a big advocate for giving Matt Pete this job. It's a plum job, head coach of the Wigan Warriors. They plumped for a man who knew the system, knew the club inside out. Well, it's paying dividends. Challenge Cup last year, Grand Final and League Leader Shield this year.
Yeah, and credit to Matt Pete. I think the phrase is every morning you wake up, you open two presents and there your eyes. I think Wigan, at the start of the season, opened two presents and they got gifted two world-class centres from clubs that didn't want them. Huddersfield, Jake Wardle, and Warrington, Toby King. And that's the biggest gift. I think them two figures in the centre for Wigan this year have been fantastic and not as noticed as what I think they should be.
OK, well, let's see if any of those have made the Harry Sunderland shortlist, and indeed the winner, because we can go pitch side to Jenna, who's done. There you go, Ryan Hall. Jenna Brooks is with the Harry Sunderland Player of the Match.
Thank you very much, Brian. Jake Wardle, big games require big players. Today you are the big player. You are the Harry Sunderland Trophy winner. Congratulations.
Yeah, cheers, thank you. To be honest, it could have gone to any one of the boys out there. You know, really team effort. I'm just really proud. Yeah, real proud moment.
It certainly seemed after the break that you came out and really moved the ball around. Was that the message at half-time?
Yeah, obviously, Catalan are a really big side, so we needed to hang in there for that first 40 minutes, and then yeah, in the second half it was just about moving the ball and getting their big players moving.
Tell us something about your team that we don't know.
I don't really know, to be honest. You know, we're a group of mates who will do anything for each other. You know, also times there where it got a bit scrappy, but yeah, the boys just dug deep and yeah, look out for one of each other.
A word on your head coach, Matt Pete. In his first year in charge, he led the team to Challenge Cup glory. In his second year in charge, well, you are here, you are Super League champions. What makes him so good?
I think he just gets the best out of his players. He understands each player individually. He's certainly helped me with my game, and I'm sure all the other boys can say the same.
Jake Wardle, congratulations. You are the Harry Sunderland Trophy winner, and Wigan are Super League champions once again.
Cheers, thank you.
You will bring in your head coach now, Matty Pete. Matt Pete, congratulations. Wigan are champions again for the first time since 2018.
Yeah, it feels good. It's been a long time coming. Myself and Rads particular, when we started talking about what we wanted to achieve over the next few years, a couple of years ago. And, you know, we're building, and we've got a special group of players, special club from top to bottom. I'm so proud of everyone in the environment. There's a lot of people here with us today, a lot of people back at Robin Park, and everyone will share this victory tonight, I'm sure.
You said this week that the reason you coach is because you're passionate about bringing a group of people together. I mean, that performance tonight was a pretty together performance. Would you agree?
I would. I trust them. They work so hard. We're prepared. It's the players and the staff. You know, I'm so fortunate with the staff I've got around me. Sean and Tommy in particular, I'm blessed. And I'm just so grateful to be in this privileged position. And, you know, I think for Ian Lenigan and Chris Wayne, so many people have put trust in me over the years, and hopefully tonight we can celebrate together.
I saw Sean Wayne have a word with you. What did he say?
Just very good, very good. We talk all the time about this feeling. I've been very jealous of him for a long time because he's savoured it, and yeah, we have similar philosophies, and I'm made up that I could share this moment with him and Rads in particular. They put so much trust in me, and I just continue to keep paying back, and yeah, that was it.
Lee Briers said that when you speak, everybody listens, and you deliver some of the best speeches he's ever heard. What was your speech ahead of this?
Not sure. Generally, I just get the right people in the room, so I think then you get the right people in the room, and then they listen. Probably that's the most important thing. We've got the right people in the club, the right people in the team, and I think when you have that, then whatever you say gets listened to.
Matt Pete, congratulations. You are the coach of a Super League champion team.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. We'll bring in the head coach of the Catalan Dragons, Steve McNamara. Steve, it seemed like they just struggled to really get it together out there tonight.
Well, I think when you play a grand final, you concede one try and lose the game. You think you've got half your game right, you've got your defence right. There's one try conceded, you know, and that was enough for Wigan to win the game. We didn't throw enough in attack, we couldn't get going in attack. Credit to Wigan, they put us out that right into the field, but very proud of the team all season, but bitterly disappointed tonight.
Do they leave with their heads held high?
Say again, sorry.
Do the players leave the pitch with their head held high?
Unbelievable. You can't, you know, I could not ask for any more. I've got no regrets. The team will have no regrets. We didn't play well enough tonight. We knew we had to at the top of our game. We were tonight, particularly in attack. But like I said, these are the fine margins we're coming to. It was an ugly game, not a great game. We concede one try and lose the grand final, and it hurts.
Just a word on the retiring Sam Tompkins, Mitchell Pearce as well. How lucky have we been to watch those two players go round?
They've been outstanding. You know, it's a tough way for them to finish their careers. They've had outstanding careers, both of them. It would have been nice to finish in the right way, but we probably didn't deserve to do it tonight.
Steve McNamara, thank you so much for talking to us.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm here with Tom Johnston. Desperately sad for you. A big defensive performance. How do you sum that game up?
Yeah, it's devastating, you know. We came to win, and we wanted to do it for all the fans and, you know, everyone in France, but just fell short to a classy side. Congratulations to them, they deserve the win.
Some big defensive efforts from you. Huge defensive efforts from you. You know, this team's breaking up next year. I suppose the question is, how can you maintain this this level of performance with the changing squad?
Well, I think they've been doing it, Catalan been doing it for the last 4 years, you know, we've been building every year and we've fallen just short again, so I expect us to fully bounce back and to go again next year.
I agree, yeah, unlucky.
Well, Tom Johnson, Ryan Hall, I spoke to you just before we started our broadcast of this post-match analysis, and you picked him as certainly a contender for the Harry Sunderland Trophy in defeat.
But not for the reasons why you might think that pre-game. You think if he's in the running for the man of the match, it's because he might have gone a couple of tries and made some amazing breaks. It was the defensive work that he did, and he showed it throughout the game. Like I said at half-time, it was a world-class effort, top-class effort from the winger, in anticipation to cover up for your teammates.
Jake Wardle collecting his Harry Sunderland Trophy for player of the match in the game, Phil Clark. In the second half, particularly down that left edge with Jake Wardle, caused the Catalan Dragons no end of problems.
Well, Ryan mentioned it before, didn't it? Matt Pete said to me at the very, very start of this year, before the season kicked off, that they've made the decision to bring in two what they view better quality centres that added a greater attacking threat, and over the course of the season I'll add to the defence as well. I mean, they've both been great defenders. I think if you invest in quality in that position, you've got to hope that on the big night it provides a return, and it clearly has here.
Take us back to your memories here, Ryan Hall in particular, and Jamie Jones-Buchanan, of being here on the losing side and doing what Catalan have to do now just behind us. We just stand around, reflect on what might have been, consider the 80 minutes they have just played, and watch Wigan go up and lift a trophy.
Yeah, I'm looking at Sam Tompkins, and in many ways disappointed for him. Here is the phoenix that was forged inside the Wigan fire. Just didn't have what it took to put it out this time round, but you always talk about revivals and learning from those experiences. Actually, Brian, when you walk back up that slope, whether you've won or lost, is almost irrelevant. It's how you deal with it when you get out of bed tomorrow morning, and it's all about planning for the next opportunity. And you'll hear Steve McNamara talking about opportunities, taking the one that'll come in pre-season and continuing to build on top of the foundation that this great Catalan side have laid.
I'm sorry, Jonesy, I'll disagree straight off the bat. Winning is not irrelevant, losing is not irrelevant. For me, winning is everything, and unfortunately on this grand stage there has to be an unfortunate team, and that's Catalan's this time.
We remind ourselves, Phil, it is pretty special as we see the Dragons going up to accept the commiserations from the presentation party, to see in the background the flags waving, the blood and gold flags of the Catalan Dragons here at Old Trafford at a second grand final in just 3 years.
Well, they've built a stronger club with greater foundations. We've all talked about the French players who've contributed to the side this year. But what you've got to hope, or what I personally hope, is that this inspires a generation of other French people to get involved with the game, whether that be as a player, a volunteer, a coach, official. There's so many ways that they can contribute.
Matt Pete, born and raised a Wigan fan, he has coached Wigan to a grand final victory here at Old Trafford. He will watch proudly on now as his players go and get the trophy. Let's get back to our commentary team for the trophy presentation. Terry O'Connor, Barry McDermott and Bill Arthur.
The Wigan players now have their chance to take the acclaim of their supporters and collect their medals. Cade Ellis leading the way, and Liam Marshall, scorer of the game's only try. Somebody had to, and Marshall did just that. And Wigan, with their thousands of supporters populating the Stretford end. It has been a long night. It has been a long night, sir. But I think it might get longer still, with some celebrating to do. Tyler Dupree, what a story that is from him, to come into this club midway through the season, and here he is, a grand final winner.
On his 9th game for the club. What a wonderful, wonderful day for him and the Wigan Warriors.
Jake Wardle, only the 5th centre to win the Harry Sunderland. Previously, the last one to get the accolade was Kevin Nagama for his performance against the Catalan Dragons.
Some game from Jay Field as well. Number of contributors to this performance. It could have been one of half a dozen players, but no qualms with the Harry Sunderland winner, Jake Wardle, and it matters not. Listen, when you're on that podium, you're not bothered who's got the man of the match. You're not bothered. All you're thinking about is celebrating with your friends and enjoying the moment.
Darren French rounding off whatever week it has been for him. Man of Steel, and now grand final winner.
It's just been an outstanding year for the club, hasn't it? You know, been pushed, chased hard by everybody. Everybody wants to beat them. Defence has definitely been the key for them this year. The second half performance defensively, led by that man. I think he has been unbelievable. One of the signings of the year, Matty P.
Ethan Havard limps up to collect his, and then the last man on the stage to be greeted by Rugby League Commercials Frank Slevin and Betfred's owner Fred Dunn, to be greeted by them and to be greeted by this. After a bit of an absence, it's back in Wigan Warriors' hands, is the Super League trophy. It's their 6th title, their first since 2018. Still only 4 names on that trophy. Catalan will have to wait their turn, because once again, the name Wigan Warriors is on the Super League trophy.
Well, we say it all the time, it takes far more than the 17 that are lucky enough to take the field here at Old Trafford to win a grand final, and you can see all the other players, non-playing players of the Wigan Warriors, the ancillary staff, the coaching staff, everybody that makes this great club tick.
I think it takes a community, Brian, and that's what Martin Peake realises. You look at the Wigan fans behind us and the noise that they're making, the fact that we're going to watch their wheelchair rugby league team play the grand final tomorrow. What they're trying to build at the Wigan club is something special. I think they're a wonderful, shining example.
Well, I think Joe Sharks deserves a mention. I mean, he's the 18th man here today. There's only 12 players at Wigan been on the field for more than Joe Sharks this season. I mean, he even played well for Lee in the game when he went there on loan. So it does take a squad, and I think Matt Pitt would fully recognise that. There's only 17 heroes on the night, even despite the fact there he is, Joe Sharks. You need those sort of players, and with the right sort of attitude too, Jamie, don't you? Want to contribute to the team.
You cast your mind back to a sold-out DW Stadium on Good Friday, and it was indeed Joe Sharks who was a standout star for the Wigan Warriors. Well, Ian Lenigan will call time at the end of November on his 16-year reign at the Wigan Warriors. 16 years, 16 finals, and he adds another Super League title to his illustrious presiding over the Cherry and White club. Then Mike Danson will come in, and already a formidable squad being assembled. Let's go to John Wilkin, who is standing by with a star of the Wigan Warriors halves, Harry Smith. John.
Right, Brian, how good, right? You're on the grand final, you've just won. You get given a bottle of champagne, what do? You pop your cork about a minute too early. Harry, how long were you holding on to that champagne for?
Felt like forever. I don't know what Faz was doing. I thought he was going to be quicker than that, no. Unbelievable experience, what a game. We grinded it out. I've lost for words, really. Unbelievable.
For a young man, look, you're playing 7 for Wigan. There's pressure and scrutiny, right? That's a privilege, but it's not lost on you. You've just delivered on the biggest stage, under the scrutiny and pressure of everybody.
Yeah, and just the confidence we've got in each other, the trust to back your ability, and we all know we can do each other's jobs, and that's what's helped me out and helped everyone out over these last 2 months. We've been playing really well, and it showed today.
I'm talking about you, not everybody else. I'm talking about Harry Smith. He produced an absolutely stunning performance. Talk about that kicking game and how important that was tonight.
Yeah, we previewed that we need to get Sam isolated on his own and take away them 2 big wingers, and yeah, that's just my job and it's my craft, so I've got to nail it for the team, and I think I did that.
Right, get amongst it. Get amongst it.
I have the retiring Sam Tompkins alongside me. Sam, where did it go wrong tonight?
Wigan were much the better team. Obviously discipline cost us at certain times, and we gave them too much opportunity. We just felt like we ran out of gas. You know, the last 20 minutes when we were chasing the game, we had no legs left, and yeah, they were much the better team.
I'm going to read a quote that I read this week. You've said, "It's better than I ever imagined. It's not work. There's nothing else in the world I'd rather be doing." How much fun have you had doing this job, and what has been the best part?
I've lived my dream. It's sad. I'm sad today, but hopefully I can look back and, over the last 15 years and be happy. I've had a lot of high points. It doesn't get any lower than this. But yeah, I've had a lot more high, and I just want to thank everyone. From every player I've played with, every coach I've had. I'm not retiring after 15 years. I'm retiring from doing something I did from 5 years old. My first coach, John Brady, to my last coach, Steve McNamara. I thank all them. All my best friends I've met in rugby. I've got friends for life from this game. It's given me and my family everything we've got. People have been sending me messages all week saying thanks for what you've done for the game, and I need no thanks. I need to thank the game. It's given me absolutely everything. It's made me the player, the person I am, and I'm finishing a very happy man. I've got a wonderful wife, 4 children, healthy brothers, mum and dad. So although this is a low point, at some point I'll be able to look back with a smile, I'm sure.
You go back to that 7-year-old when you first got that rugby ball in your hands. Can you imagine everything that you've achieved? I can't remember it off the top of my head because there's that much Sam Tompkins.
No, absolutely not. Even when I started playing first team, I never thought I'd have the opportunities I've had. Nowhere near. I thought I'd play a few first team games, a few years, and that was it. That was the goal. But I've been so lucky. I've played in 3 different countries for 3 teams, and my family's been able to experience a lot of different things, and that's all down to me being able to play a game of a sport with my friends. It's pretty crazy to think that doing what I love has been able to give me all that. So I'm forever thankful for everyone involved.
We are forever thankful for everything you have done. Sam Tompkins, you are a rugby league legend.
Thank you, Jenna. Thank you.
Ryan.
Jenna, thank you very much. And thank you, Sam Tompkins. Last week we said goodbye to the great James Roby. Today at Old Trafford we say goodbye to Sam Tompkins, who has had quite simply a stupendous Super League career.
I'm a player, I feel being a part of that a little bit, playing against him from all them times, and he just thanked all the players he's played with and against that. So I'm just a little part of that, and we're losing a superstar of the game. There's no doubts about it. He belongs on the big stage, and I'm sure whatever he does in his future he'll continue at the highest level.
Still an incredibly influential player, but credit to Wigan how they nullified Sam Tompkins today.
Yeah, I mean,